Are you a Rhino? Or are you a Patriot? It's very simple. One thing I've noticed as I move up in this Patriot movement here in Michigan, I've noticed I'm coming across more rhinos. They're really exposing themselves. Those that claim they're patriots, but when it comes down to it, and it comes down to, things get a little tough. They bend over. They bend. They fold like a lawn chair when things get tough. Well, I support freedom of speech. I support the First Amendment, but I don't support that. That's a rhino. I support the freedom of speech. I don't agree with that guy's message, but I support his freedom of speech. That's a patriot. That's a patriot. I ain't going to go in details. I went to a hospital protest this last Saturday. Mainstream media commies showed up. As you know, I don't like the mainstream media. They cause all the division. Basically, Fox 2 News Detroit showed up. Now, Clinton Township, we had a hospital protest, 1,000 strong, I guess. Somebody said 2,000 people there. I can't be sure about that, but I want to say at least a few hundred. Clinton Township, 19 Mile Road, and I can't remember exact cross streets. A couple weeks ago, you probably seen it on my videos. Clinton Township. A lot of people showed up. The had a good outcome. Well, Channel 4 decided to show up. Channel 4, WDIV Detroit, fake news. The Patriots stood against them and got them out of there. They were setting up, and the Patriots swarmed around them, screaming at them, yelling at them. They got their shit, and they got the fuck out of there. That's how you deal with the mainstream media. They cause division. They're fitting an agenda, a liberal agenda. We got our own independent news, our own independent media that can come out. Okay, and trust me, we got them. Myself, including several others in this movement. We got our own independent news. We don't need them causing a division, lying about us, making us look stupid on camera. And then you get the sheep at home. I got to turn on the news and see what's going on. How am I going to be brainwashed today? Okay? No more fake news. If you see fake news, I'm not saying every mainstream media news station is bad. But down here in Michigan, if you see WDIV Detroit, Fox 2, Channel 7, Wood TV, MLive, there's a couple others out of Lansing, Channel 6. My advice, photobomb them. Do what you got to do. Scream at them, yell at them. Do whatever you need to do. Get them out of there. We don't want them there. We don't want them there. We had a hospital protest down in Southfield last Saturday. Fake Fox 2, they showed up. I know what they were doing. But you had stupid idiots out there giving an interview. Well, I'm going to get an interview. I'm going to get my 15 minutes of fame. So I went and looked at the news story afterwards. And those interviews didn't even air. So those morons that gave them an interview didn't do shit. They just made themselves look stupid. You don't talk to the enemy. The enemy is the deep state, the cabal, the global elite on top, okay? And the tools that they're using, and they're using the mainstream media. I'm not saying every reporter and every photographer that works for the mainstream media is the enemy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the mainstream media, in general, is the enemy. They're the ones causing division in this country. Antifa BLM is not your enemy. You might not agree with them. You might not agree with what they do. Okay? But keep in mind, they are what they are for a reason. Mainstream media causing that division. Now what if you got both sides going up against the cabal, against the deep state? Power in numbers. That's all I'm going to say. You guys want to sit here at the bottom and fight BLM and Antifa and all these leftist groups. I want to be here up at the top fighting the ones at the top. That's what I want to do. I want to go to the core of the problem. I had a nurse get in my face last Saturday. She didn't agree with my message towards the mainstream media. The mainstream media showed up. I handled them the way I did. And that's the way it is. And I gave no fucks. And I had no regrets. Well, some people there didn't like how I handled them. And a nurse got in my face. And I told her, We're in this mess because of China. We're in this mess because of China. Well, that's not the message we want to put out. That's exactly the message we want to put out. Okay? That's exactly the message we want to put out. Let's get that straight. Well, I don't agree with what you're doing. Well, this is public property. Get the hell away from me. I don't agree with what BLM and Antifa is doing. As long as they're peaceful, public property, First Amendment, they can say whatever they want. Don't agree with it. What am I going to do to stop them? Absolutely nothing. Until they cross that line and get violent. Then I have a duty as a citizen to stop them. Okay? You got to respect other people's rights. The ones that don't, well, we don't want that. Those are rhinos. You're either a patriot or you're not. It's very simple. You either support the First Amendment or you don't. I'm seeing more rhinos. Oh, I support the Constitution for everybody. Well, fucking prove it then. I'm not going to say any group names. I'm not going to say any names. But I've heard of people getting kicked out of rallies down here in Michigan, up here in Michigan, because they had a fuck Joe Biden flag. You realize that Joe Biden is the reason we're in this mess. So I'll say it. Fuck Joe Biden. Then we got another rally weekly here in Michigan. U.S. flags only. We're in the United States of America, fly the U.S. flag. But here's a problem with that. So no U.S. flags with the gun on it. No don't tread on me flags. No, I don't really support the blue line flag because the police are a monopoly. My blue line flag is in a cardboard box, put away. Maybe I'll bring it back out, maybe I won't. Before the police, we had the militia. That, what does the militia do? Executes the laws of the land. Repels insurrection. Okay? You had a sheriff in every town back in the 1800s. Police didn't come out to what, late 1800s? The police are a monopoly. Okay? You think they're going to defend the Constitution? Some of them are. Some of them are good. I'm going to be honest. But a lot of them don't. They want that paycheck. Well, my global masters told me to do this. They got to feed their family, right? So my blue line flag is in a cardboard box. Maybe I'll bring it back out. Maybe I won't. So, yeah, one rally down here. U.S. flags only. Well, there goes the freedom of speech out the window. Freedom of speech is exercising your rights on public property. Being yourself. And all these, well, this is a free speech zone. This is not. Bullshit. The free speech zone covers the whole entire United States. And some leftist states, you had some areas where, well, this free speech zone's over here. You got it wrong. I'll tell you what a rhino is. It gets tough for them and they back down. Well, this is getting too tough for me. I got to feed my kids. I don't want to lose my job. I got bills to pay. This is getting too tough for me. Rhino. There's going to come a point of time where you have to decide. Am I going to keep standing up? If you're not willing to risk your job, your life, and put everything down on the table and risk it to take your rights back, then you are not a patriot. You're not. Well, I'm a patriot, but I'm not going to do that. Rhinos, get the fuck out of the way and let the real patriots do the job then. You have to be willing to risk it all. Your job, your livelihood, your house, losing your kids, whatever it is. You have to be willing to risk it all. Okay? To take your rights back, if it comes down to that. There might be a time where you have to risk it to do what's right. Or you're going to fold like a lawn chair. And what I'm seeing here in Michigan, I'm seeing a lot of rhinos. They're folding like a lawn chair. Well, I support the Constitution. I don't support that. Well, you don't support injecting heroin. You just support injecting a little bit. Okay? Same with this gun control or First Amendment or Second Amendment, Third, Fourth, whatever. You give them a tiny little bit, they're going to take a mile from you. Oh, we got them to give in a little bit. You don't give in. Period. You don't give in. Well, we got them to give in a little bit. Now let's take this. And that's why we're in the position that we're in. Because you motherfuckers we can give a little bit. No, you give them a little bit, they're going to take a bunch. That's the way it is. Are you a Rhino or are you a Patriot? A lot of Patriots coming up here, oh, I'm a Patriot. Well, prove it. And then things get tough, they fold. I don't fold. That's why some people don't like me. I call them, those ones that fold, I call them Garrett Sedano supporters. I call them James Craig supporters. Let me tell you something about Garrett Sedano. Where was Garrett Sedano in front of the TCF Center when election fraud was happening? Where was Garrett Sedano last year's Second Amendment rally? Where was Garrett Sedano when the affidavits were being delivered to our elected officials in Lansing? Where was Garrett Sedano inside the Michigan State Capitol, April 30th last year, where we're holding our representatives responsible? Because that's what we do. Garrett Sedano shows up for a photo op for 20 minutes, does a speech, and leaves. I've only seen him in person 3-4 times in the last year and a half. You know who I've seen in person probably 100 times in the last year and a half? All the events that I just named, you know who was there? Ryan Kelly. He's a stand-up guy. He is the real deal. James Craig. Let's go on about James Craig. James Craig, Chief of Police, Detroit. Is all that crap true about 100 protesters being held inside Little Caesars Arena? Don't know. I wasn't there. I can't say. If it was true, I see no pictures or video evidence of it, but that's besides the point. There was a protest happening on Tuesday. I think Carlisle, DWB, Detroit Road Breed, my good buddies. They're protesting James Craig. They're only protesting him because they got their ass kicked. That's one good thing James Craig did. He didn't let the city burn down. Did James Craig stop election fraud in his city under his watch? No. James Craig also enforced thousands of times unconstitutional orders by Gretchen Whitmer in his own city. Had 1,600 cases dropped out because they were unconstitutional under James Craig's watch. James Craig's watch. Now, what do you think he's going to do if he becomes governor? He's playing goody-goody with Whitmer during this whole entire lockdown, all this crap. Since Operation Gridlock, since the beginning of coronavirus for like a year, playing goody-goody with Whitmer. All of a sudden, the last few months, he's no goody-goody with Whitmer. Oh, because he wants to become governor. And what did James Craig say about your gun rights? This is exactly what he said. I will not... Exactly what he said. I'm going to enforce the laws on the books. I'm going to make sure that no more tyrannical laws are put on the books. Oh, really? So you're going to enforce the tyrannical laws that are already on the books instead of repelling them? This is a guy that used to support assault weapons ban and 10-round magazine limit. Oh, he flip-flopped. Now, I'm not saying he didn't wake up. People do wake up. But he's going to enforce the laws on the books, the already unconstitutional tyrannical laws on the books. But he's just not going to bring any more. Oh, we're going to enforce the tyranny we already have, but we're just not going to bring any more tyranny. Ryan Kelly, on the other hand, wants to repel all those unconstitutional tyrannical laws. A gun law is unconstitutional, period. Can you find anywhere in the Second Amendment where it says anything about background check? Or it says anything about high-capacity magazine ban? It says a well-regulated militia. Okay? Militia is behind well-regulated. Liberals like to use that well-regulated part. The right to keep and bear arms in order to ensure a free state shall not be infringed. That's what it says. They didn't say anything about background check. It didn't say anything about, well, but. No, it didn't say well or but or and. No, it didn't. It didn't say anything about ban or anything like that. And the word militia is in the Second Amendment. Where you get too many libtards, they're all crazy. Oh, militia. You know? Are you a Rhino or are you a Patriot?